Good morning and welcome everyone to our AABN's 87th weekly webinar. AABN webinars were created in response to COVID-19 related lockdowns conducted from June 2020 to present. The webinars are the result of a partnership between AABN Entrepreneur Network, Alma Mater, industries and institutions. AABN webinars provided entrepreneurs access to real-life examples of possible career paths and the opportunity to have fun interacting with others outside their home in a safe way. The coronavirus is not only a health crisis of immense proportion, it's also an imminent restructuring of the global economic order. We also know that despite the extraordinary uncertainty, we can chart a path forward. These webinars are designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs visualize the possibilities, identify resources to support their vision, and understand the logistics of starting a business. This Sunday too, you'll be delighted to know that we have an eminent guest speaker, Mr. Gnanasekaran, and he will share his thoughts on gap between touching the skies versus ground level insight. We all want to create an extraordinary life. For that to happen, first you must know what personal success looks like for you and what you must do to make your vision a reality. To get what you want, you need to know what exactly you are asking for. When you understand your life purpose, have a clear vision of what you want, convert your desires into achievable goals, and then take unstoppable action towards these goals, you will have the power to accomplish anything you can imagine. The comfort zone can be a dangerous place, especially in the modern working world. I believe that entrepreneurs like you can make the world a better place, one idea at a time, and you're going to be how change happens. One person, one step, one business, one city, one country at a time. There are brilliant young people and hardworking women and innovative thinkers from communities all around the world. People just like you, ready to make a difference. But they haven't been given the chance yet. And together we can help make sure that anyone who's got the creativity and drive to work hard, no matter where they are from, what they look like, what their background is, they get a fair shot at pursuing their dreams. But entrepreneurship is more than just an engine of economic growth. It's also a factor that makes communities more vibrant, inclusive, and secure. Today, Mr. S. Gnanasekaran, Managing Partner, Q&Q Solutions, will start this session interestingly with basic principles of new age entrepreneurship and best practices related to entrepreneurship. He will talk about breaking barriers, starting scalable ventures, and using technology to make solutions for making people's lives easier. I have the pleasant duty of welcoming and introducing him today at Gap Between Touching the Sky versus Ground Level Insights, an interactive business networking session. Mr. Gnanasekaran holds a bachelor's degree in engineering technology from BITS Pilani campus and has a master's degree in quality management, non-profit, public, organizational management from BITS Pilani. He is Ivy League IMB alumni ranked 26 worldwide. He started his career as a manufacturing engineer. Now he is a managing partner in Q&Q Solutions. Incepted in the year 2017, which is an acronym for quality and quantity, is an exporting firm that exports manufactured goods to customers across the world. They are a young and innovative team of dreamers who aspire to position themselves as a leader in the supply chain management sector. Their unique supply chain model has immensely satisfied the global customers by on-time delivery of superior quality products that are also cost-effective. He is also Chief Operating Officer, JS Autocast Foundry India Private Limited. He is a former COO of 30 million USD organization who ramped business from zero to US 30 million. He had a team of 350 members to deliver leading brands like Daimler, Caterpillar, Vestas, Siemens Gamesa, Oaklane, Hyundai, etc. He provides global MNC contracts and supply chain solutions. There is so much to Mr. Gnanasekaran's achievements journey. I'm not too sure it can all be summarized in this limited time in this session. So without delay, I would like to open the floor to Mr. Gnanasekaran, whose hard-hitting experience are bound to inspire and guide you. He is a story of a dream that turned into reality only because of his passion and his grit. He is a story of trump of hope and hard work, idea and innovation. Once again, a very warm welcome to you, sir. We are truly privileged to have you deliver the speech today. And before I wind up, I would like to place on record my sincere thanks to Mr. Vinod Vasan, 2002 mechanical batch, for his support in roping in Mr. Gnanasekaran as speaker today. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Gnanasekaran.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gopi sir. So I actually have two agenda. One is just talking about my journey, which you have already explained, and as she was explaining the Q&A sessions at the last, but the session itself and Q&A session, which I would like to have as an interactive session. So I don't know where to start with. Okay. So anyway, thanks for that greetings and then the words which has touched me. Um, you know, on the entire journey of my career, I would say the passion is the one which is in front of it at every stage. Okay, I don't know whether that was a compulsion which was put from my childhood life to come to this stage or whatever. Okay, so before that, it's a pride for me to be here and then give my few cents for all of you. But there are already a lot of people who is well experienced and then into different field. So my thing is not a great thing, I would say, like a horse. I was just running from the day one till today into the manufacturing, and I am learning every single day, no doubt about it. Okay, so to start with my background journey, so I am from South India, Tirunelveli district, from Sengotai. So I was my native is that, and I finished my diploma in Central Polytechnic Dharamani in Chennai in 2000. After that, I just worked with in Singapore for a couple of years, and then I gained some more experience in Coimbatore in a machine shop. So I started my journey as a helper, I would say, typically in CNC machine shop, how it will be an initial thing. They don't even show the machine in front of us. We need to work in the lathe or something, and then to gain experience, or you perform outperforming, then only they can show the CNC. That was the story in 2000 and 2002 sometimes, because every people just gain experience and then go out of India, and then they want to go to Singapore and so on. It's the same story for everybody. Okay, so after that, I again went to Singapore till 2005 for another 2 years. Then after coming here, I got an opportunity to start a greenfield project. So I joined as a first employee in JS Autocast. Though there was a foundry with people working there, but to start up a machine shop, because I'm from the day one I'm into CNC manufacturing. So you can say as a machinist, the technical manufacturing skill which I developed as a passion by working more than 12 to 16 hours a day, only to see how we can touch the sky, because everybody have the feel of touching the sky, right? So how that thing is, when I was studying after my college in diploma in Chennai, it was so hard for me to go and then work and see, because we were roaming in Chennai Ambattur for a job for a CNC operator or something. It was too tough, in fact. You all know that. So it how to say, there are a lot of relations who are all doing good. So we are so poor. By the time I was thinking, when I was working in the first company in auto lathe, I was working very hard the day one, and they took me in terms of a CNC operator. Then I was into an auto lathe where I was producing a lot of parts. By afternoon, one of my colleague, we are eating outside, and then he asked, "What did they say?" They said they took me for an operator, but it's the same thing they told me, and I'm working for 6 months, but I am not yet converted into an operator. So I thought your performance may be different and my performance may be different. So what did I do? Then I go and then work more hard till evening. And when I go to the supervisor said, "Hey man, you produced only 60%. I was not even stopping for a minute on the first day with a lot of excitement. Then he said, No, 60% only. And after getting into those traffic, bus, and then getting into a room with the hungry, I was thinking it is not going to be this is not my cup of tea. So what do we do? 800 rupees salary in 2000, and we can't even have our own food. So how to buy a house, car, this, that. There are a lot of dreams, but in this way, 6 months I'll be smashed over here. So I thought of, shall I rob? Shall I go to politics? Shall I go become a politician, or shall I go to cinema? There are a lot of thought process started juggling on that day, and I was thinking for almost 3 days. But end of the day, the result of each and every way, it has its own consequences. So we can't do anything unless otherwise we sincerely keep working back to the same technical stuff what I had, or the profession what I did. So we need to start somewhere. Okay. So I came to Coimbatore through one of my reference, and then started my the CNC journey. And that's the initial thought process. Why I'm telling that here is, if you can't keep oscillating on those decisions, so you can take a lot of time to take a decision initially to go into an career path or something. And once we 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 are done with the plan A, B, C, and D, if you have many routes, the destination, if you are able to see that, then you have to just keep pursuing. And then the preservation is very important to keep going towards the same path. So that's how it started. And after I joined that JS Autocast as a first employee to start up the machine shop, so I was taking care of that entire operations, and then also into this marketing. So it was about a 10 years journey, around 1,200 people. So I was heading the foundry plus machine shop. So we reached up to 30 million in 10 years. So in during that time, I had an exposure to travel across the globe, and dealt with the customers, as Mr. Gobi said in the introduction, dealt with all the bigger MNCs. So that's a great learning period for me into manufacturing and handling MNC, and then the customers, and understanding different cultures across the globe. Most part of the US and Europe have traveled and then met customers. So that's a strong, I would say, techno commercial in terms of engineering or manufacturing, foundry technology, as well as the machining technology. So that's a strong base, and it's very small, I would say, from 2000 to 2017, 17 years, but 10 years in a same company. So after 2017, I came out and I thought of mentoring, because many of my friends were saying that, Jan, you're able to be so successful. Because by the end of 2017, I just go to the company and then drink coffee and then read paper. So I'm able to see that how business is taken care by its own with an autonomous mode. Because the ground level insights, when I say, the base has been set very clear, and then the team has been completely established there by teaching them, and then by making sure that they are owning those process, and then the systems what they have. So my job is to ensure with the dashboard. So from the managerial level, I was able to move on to the leadership level with a lot of training. So in all these 10 years, I did my BS in bits planning, then MTech in quality management. It's not a full time, but I did in my Karas. So after that, I came out of that company to start up this Q&Q solutions. But I don't have an idea of starting business at all, as long as I was working in JS Autocast. Just a minute. Sorry. I literally don't have an idea, because the difference between me and my MD is, I sleep peacefully, he don't sleep, because he wants the prime responsibility, and I'm just an COO reporting to him. So I know the pain of these cash flows, and then owning those entire safety risk, and there are so many into it. I know that. So I have no idea of starting the business at all. Being a salaried person, I got settled. He paid me well, taken care, and then with the two house and then two cars, two kids, but very lucky, only one wife, and with all those things, I was really enjoying my life. I'm content, I would say. But once you are content, then you start thinking about others. So what's happening to others, and then is that your known circle, known friends, all are happy. So there, the I got an spark saying that many of my friends were saying, Jan, we are striving, and then we are really working hard, but we are not able to make money or no peace, no quality time with the family, and so on. So one fine day, suddenly I thought of quitting, and then started this mentoring in October 2017. So it's just 3 months, because 250 crore company I'm able to run comfortably. We are able to set. So 10 crore company, 50 crore company, all those smaller machine shop or smaller manufacturing, I'm able to, I think I can clean it up in 3 months time, and then make a difference. So I thought of mentoring. But during that time, the whole 1 year, I also joined this IIM Bangalore for an global exposure, how to get into connect, because I understand that in today's scenario, oil is no more valuable and data is very important. So, and data networking becomes a crucial thing for the growth, or for the knowledge, because learning, I don't do what I know, I do what I don't know, which means whatever I know, I make sure immediately I am teaching somebody, or coaching somebody, and then I am ensuring whether they are taking care of the job. In terms of job I am talking about. Okay, so even anything else personal, or with the family or with the kids, if you teach them immediately, or if you keep repeating to many of the people what you are so sure about it, so the good thing is it will be a default scenario. Even if you're at sleep, and you can immediately, you are so sure about that what you are doing. So the good thing what we learned, we immediately we delegate that, or we teach somebody else. So that's an advantage what I see, because my life became easy when they started taking care of it. They are inspired on that, and so on. And on this phase, I'm able to see entrepreneurs. 3 months I was working with three companies, and able to see one company is doing good, but he is afraid. 10 machines we have, so we are doing good, but why don't the customer is saying that you are doing great, why don't you go for another 10 machines, or you expand? So he is having a fear of failure, because he holds everything, he is doing in micromanagement. So the problem is, he know that he is putting his time of 18 hours into the company. So if he buy another 10 machines, he knows that there is no 36 hours a day. So he don't want to. I think somebody is unmuted. Okay. So he is having a fear of failure to grow. His numbers are all great. Then I told him that you can really delegate this, and then with the so many experience of the team you have, so this all has to be a dashboard for you, and not to get into the job. So the first problem what people have is in terms of trust, or in terms of delegating. So there they are stuck. That is one type of company which we are able to come out, and then he expanded and doing good. The other company, they have a lot of orders not able to execute, a 50 crore company, where their bottom line is minus 30 lakhs per month, and it's like a killing effect every single month. So how do they come out of it? So I'm able to make some inputs and then difference to that company by doing those analysis, and then with the data. See, the problem where they get is, we are not able to say no. I think we are in the 87th call. There are a lot of great people has given lectures. So this can be a repeated one for sure. But the key thing, when everyone repeats the same thing, there is something into it, and we need to hold on to that. So the point is, we are not able to say no. We take more orders. So if you look at the profitability of those company across all the 100 parts what they have, 50 parts are making losses of minus 50 lakhs. And another 50 parts are making plus 20 lakhs. So the net to net, if you look at the effect, it's a minus 30 lakhs. So why do you do this 50 parts? So the question is, it has came unknowingly into the system, came unknowingly into the system for the relationship. Okay, you do it for this job, and then we can talk about the price later. So we are not able to have a control on our costing, and we are not so firm that what we have to uh, uh, accept, and then what we cannot accept. Relationship is fine, but when business, it's a business, it's not a charity. So those kind of price corrections was a basic thing. And when we are stuck to that, these loss making parts are a very poorly priced parts will never go to anybody. It will be always stuck into our system because nobody is willing to take a for an same pricing outside, right? So the good profitable part will always have an chance or a choice that people will go for an improvement in cost, and then this business will go away one fine day. So the thing is, every part in your business or every product you make in your business should make money. So that's an important factor which I would like to emphasize here. And the other company has no orders at all, but they're all good grade because they all depend within the region. Okay, so the learning what I had from IIM is business. We are all here as an entrepreneurs or even some of the working professionals, but when it comes to the business, business consists of mainly four things. One is about the marketing, the second thing is the finance, and the third thing is the operational excellence, and the one is the R&D or a development, you could say. So when I talk about these four things, where are we lacking at? We are lacking at, we can calibrate our own scenario. Marketing, zero or somewhat. It's the biggest thing we are lacking at it. Because when I had one entrepreneur meeting and then saying, sir, you have a lot of capacity, now you have improved, why don't you go and then take business from now your operational excellence has come up being with that. So why are we making a parts for Nano? Why don't we make it for a Mercedes? Why don't you go and then meet? Oh, no, I can't communicate to them. There's a problem in the communication. So why don't you go to US or Europe and then bring business? Because when I travel to US, I drive 6,000 miles, and then every 400 miles I meet customers, inspire them, and then wherever I am leaving, I just leave the car over there and then come here. But this kind of thing, I found that they have a problem. One of the entrepreneurs said, Jan, if I go to Chennai itself, I will have a headache. So you don't like traveling. So being into the Coimbatore, if you are doing parts to the bigger players, so who is sitting in the bigger MNC companies? So it's all about our own people. Okay, Indians, I would say. Nothing wrong in it, but to get the name and fame for themselves, they use these SMEs and MSMEs on the prices, and then they give everything to the white people. So it doesn't make any sense of getting the business. So yes, there is a competitiveness which is required, but with all those scenario, the sweating out people are not able to demand what they exactly want. That could be one of the reasons. The other reason is somehow for the survival, in the name of survival, we want to run the business, so we are taking some of the loss making parts. So that's how we end up into the cumulative scenario. So marketing gets into that, and the other one is the operational excellence. I think everybody is when they are starting a business, they know how that product works or how to make and so on. But the problem is they completely go out of that system when they are stuck with this finance. So finance plays a very big role. People has to understand what is meant by cash flow. What is cash flow? What is working capital? So how the business is getting funded? What kind of capex we need to do? How it has to be funded? How the working capital has to be funded? So because many what we see is they just want to have a passion, and then they come into the business. Business is all about marketing, sales, throughput, sales. Quality management system, people empowerment, training, communication, purchase strategy, finance strategy, cash flow. So but they come out from big machine shop, they put up one machine, one become two, two become five, five become 10. After 10, they are choked. So that's the problem. What I have seen, I'm not saying everybody, I have seen. So the choice here is somebody is content with, okay, with this level of how much is too much. We have to define ourselves first. So how much is too much? We may have a dream or so on to touch the sky. Nothing wrong in it. But how do you achieve that? We need to have a very clear path towards it. So I would say everybody will definitely have a limitation in terms of their own capability for sure. Because when we say in this Tamil, கட்டுறது கைமண் அளவு கல்லாதது உலக அளவுன்னு சொல்ற மாதிரி, when we don't know something, really the world is so big, there are a lot many things to learn. So you can't stop your learning at one point of time. Then you will do only what you know. So you can't go to the next level. So you need to have always mentors or known coaches or connect. You need to have, and then you have to always have the drive to keep moving to the next level. If you are stuck, don't worry, immediately think, okay, I tried my best, I know what I have done, I don't know what to go next. Please ask for help. Please go and search for right mentors. Go and then get a lot of training to go to the next level. Only that learning will help us to grow to the next level. So, that's one of the key area which I would like to touch upon. And on the on my story, where we are now is by doing this mentoring, I found that marketing and finance I cannot inject to every entrepreneurs. So I thought of really bad, and I want to help these sweating people and working hard, but they're not able to make money. So I thought of getting a licensing route, but there was no decades of history with the good licensing happening, because the capability of the companies and then the requirements of the customers across the globe. So these two has a big gap, and I'll be sandwiched in between. So I don't want to do that scenario. Then I thought of having this Q&Q solution, which is a supply chain solutions, as like Amazon or Ola is doing. But then customers said, I would like to have an own machine shop. I can't be like a trading. So we acquired one of the machine shop, and then I said, okay, now I have a machine shop, so that why don't we grow upon? And my focus is mainly into the exports. So any metals machined earlier, though I am into foundry and iron casting foundry. Now we do any metals like iron casting, steel casting, investment casting, forging, aluminum, GDC, PDC, brass. So any metals machined and sub-assembled is the bucket which I kept in front of customers. So for a bigger OEM, they want, if they make a big pump, they want all the commodity of parts they want to put into the machine or engine. So if they have to go just only for a typical iron source, the only one company. So like for steel, for forging, they have to go to n number of company. For different size, you need to have a different another source, and the dual sourcing you need to have into two, and for machining you have to coordinate. So instead of handling some 40 suppliers, they can just come to us, and then we'll be able to source some of the castings, or maybe in future if we have our own shop, probably we can make ourselves, and then we can give a full solution to the customer, and that worked well, and the customers are very happy. So by that way, we are with the 6 customers now in the last 4 years. So this year we'll be doing around 100 crores. So it's a very steep ramp up. You won't believe that 6 crores and 12 crores, and COVID year we are supposed to do 40, but we came back to 5 crore in the COVID because of predominantly into oil and gas. And then last year, if you look at, we did 28 plus crore, and this year we are straight away ramping to 100 crores. So the challenge what I had in the last 1 or 2 years is mainly into working capital, or the finance part of it. Because when I go to bank said, oh, you're growing inorganically, because Indian system is not made in a way, finance system is not made in a way, the bankers, like, you can't grow inorganically. That's a lot of risk, because it's the people money what bank is holding. So there are a lot of new fintech coming and new products, as like Vinod Vasan is there for this export factoring, because export, the only way to get immediate payment is about the factory. LC, but bigger companies like GE, Bosch, this kind of companies will not give you LC for each and every shipment. So it's based out of trust you can do, but who is going to fund you the business? So understanding those finance is one of the very important criteria, which I learned a lot. But now, even from this 100 crores, our vision is, you won't wonder that I'm thinking the entire Indian oil budget. I want to make business out of dollars so that we make the Indian currency level, and then so that's a big vision, I would say. But at least to get into a $1 billion valuation in next 7 years. So we are into software now. We are into this engineering now with the world of valves and assembling, and then we will be also into the fintech once we touch 1,000 crore plus. So I am getting into this private equity, external commercial borrowing. So bring the money with the investors so that we can grow in a multifolds much quickly. So it's again a choice. It's not that everybody has to go it in that route. But if I make my own money and then keep investing my own money back and then taking time, I would touch this 1,000 crore in next 25 or 30 years, I would say. I don't know. Okay. So it has its own challenges. So bringing private equity route and learning about those world, the finance world completely. And with that, if you can just add zeros much quickly with the passion, which you can try it out. So I am in that verge, and then probably in next 4 to 5 years, we should at least hit 1,000 crores in Coimbatore. So that's what I have a dream, and then we are working about now. So I just explained about my past and present as well as on the future. Okay. So I think all the other stuff, how I'm trying to do this, or with this manufacturing and engineering background, you can start shooting your questions. Whatever I know, I don't know whether you get satisfied with my answers or not. Whatever I know, probably I can give you my inputs or insights. If that can be helpful, if I don't know something which you're asking, I would be bluntly saying no, and I will make a note. Probably I can learn that and then get back to you on that. Thank you for the opportunity. So I think we can start our interactive sessions, because I trust this IIM pedagogy learning as well as this interactive sessions was more interesting. They have given a lot of case studies, and it is just you have to study all the way till night 2 o'clock, and then morning 8 o'clock if you go and then sit at the Bangalore class. The professor will not open the PPT, or he will not give you ask questions from the books and all. The simple thing is, he will say, okay, you all listened the story, read a story yesterday. Yes, yes, yes. So what do you think? Bob would have done much better. That's all. Then out of 33 CXO layers, we are sitting in front of from all over from India. So we will start talking, oh, he would have done in this way. Then he asks, why? So somebody will be saying, because it has a different perspective. So nothing is right or wrong, because when all the case studies, if you talk about this airline industry or Tata Nano project or this, that, there are a lot of stories, but all the stories, when that was progressing, you can't decide that easily whether this is right or wrong. But after the story was over, everybody can say that no, this is wrong, you would have done in this way, you would have done in that way. But at that point of time, what was their target and what? So what comes here is, when in this group, even there are different commodity or different industry people are working here. The interesting thing is how a situation is handled with a different perspective. So I think this is a great. I think there is a BNI Connect also there, normal BNI, where there are a lot of clusters they do discuss. Really interesting that you will listen to a different kind of problem, so you can also apply the same methodology or a way in your own stories, and then you can get navigated out, and then you can escape from the issues which is trying to come near you. Okay, so I would like to hear a lot many questions, and we can have this as an interactive session. Thank you.
Can I open the question?
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
please start with you.
Well,
Okay. The thing is, Indian quality is notorious. I mean, most of the people balk when it comes to, since you are into export, how do you ensure quality by your supply chain? Do you have your own QC people? How do you ensure that quality is maintained, especially since you are looking to exporting the products?
yeah. See, people will not do what you instruct. People will do what you inspect. So that's the philosophy where you can have a catch hold of it. So the quality, it starts from the top. I would say it starts from the top. If you are the boss of the company and how much quality you are, that quality will be your whole company's quality and the product quality which will target the customer. I'm believing on it, because once you do not have a compromise on the quality, you will definitely drive your entire team towards the quality. If you don't have a quality conscious, and if you have a perception saying that okay, this is okay, that is okay, then everybody will start doing the same thing. And when you talk about the QC inspectors or the number of people and so on, every industry there is a process. There is VDA 6.3. There is a lot of for example, if you talk in engineering, the first product, when you make a different setting, you need to ensure that the quality checks or the control plan and the FMEA. So when we talk about quality, again, I can talk an hour, more than an hour for a quality. So it starts from the FMEA before we do that. So if you look at Americans, how they handle a construction industry or a building, they will take, if they say the project is going to be 1 year, they will not touch, you can't see anything coming out of ground till 6 months. They will do such a planning like an FMEA. And then once everything is on, the plan is on, it just got and then come executed and it will be finished in no time with no failures. So different people have different approach. Okay, so Japanese approach and European approach and so on. So the thing is, quality in India, I would say we are becoming better, and the Japanese are really seeing and then raising their eyebrows. But as you said, we are very big in terms of geography and population and products. So the problem what we have is the culture of quality. Quality is not just an putting inspectors. This problem is going to solve unless otherwise we have a mechanism to see from the top. So why our company name is Q and Q, that is the quality and quality is. See, even for keeping this name, I took almost 2-3 days to think that what name I should keep for my company. So I just wear a hat of customer hat, what they really want. So if you are a customer, if you go to a hotel, first you look for what? You look for a quality food. Then you look for a more quantity, right? So I thought, okay, fine. Price, it depends. So there is a lot of pyramids of the customers, right from Nano, I would say, till the Mercedes. So there is a if you have to figure out whether you want to be on the complete top premium segment product or the bottom of the pyramid you are going to match, or even if it is a road shop with the Kayandi Bhavan or whatever, if the food is going to be so taste, even I would go and then eat even today, even though I'm in if I feel myself in a different platform, right? So quality is first, and it's a complete culture of the company, and it starts with the number one boss, I would say. Thank you.
Have you ever developed a product or a product with demand, and then search for somebody who would manufacture on your behalf? Basically, what I'm trying to ask is, have you looked at developing suppliers, how do you go about it? Because that will be, suppose there are 10 parts you want, there may not be available in Coimbatore. So how do you search, or do you say, sorry, this part we cannot supply, or something like that, or do you keep searching, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, at this point of time, we have our limitation in terms of choosing the product that what we can do for sure. But if customer is showing an interest or they're asking for a support, And if we want to be into that metal, because when we say any metals machine is our business model today, we are working for the customer and we are figuring out those supplier sets. So supplier development in the sense, that's again a phenomenal thing, because you can't be alone by yourself to touch this $1 billion vision what I have. I need a lot of suppliers. So it's a relationship which I visit suppliers, or maybe we set the stage with those entrepreneurs first, and then it's again the owning field in the sense, it's not like you treat a supplier like a supplier. There may be a lot of jargons. You have to consider them as a partners. They are on this, that, all jargons. But in reality, your face and then your relationship with them, that matters. How your supplier is going to be with you.
Have you got any experience in supplying titanium parts, titanium machine parts, titanium for pumps, for example, for chemical industries? You need titanium impellers, and actually, I'm connected with my parent companies exporting already to 65 countries, but mostly into chemical industries equipment. Pump is more like an add-on. If pump and valves, they are not really concentrating. If it's part of the equipment, okay, it's a pain in the neck. Okay, anyway, the customer wants, they do. But there's a huge thing. We are based out of Chennai.
Okay.
My parent company actually is I can call it a monopoly in electrochlorinators for power plants. They are supplying to 65 countries. But as I told you, pumps and valves are okay. I mean, it's not, they're not really keen, but they also kind of, okay, if the customer really wants, they also supply. So
to give a input, Inconel is what customers were asking and as a demand, number one.
It's Inconel, Hastelloy, nickel, especially now this hydrogen cells have come. Everybody from Adani to Ambani, they are now green hydrogen. They are trying to use solar energy.
Yep.
So electrolyzers now a lot. They are asking for nickel cathodes. They are asking for, and these are huge machined items, like 1 meter by 2.5 meters. They want presses for making thin electrodes. Lot of, in fact, if I mean, we can. I mean, unfortunately, my partner and managing director of that company is not in this meeting, but they are specialized. Last 25 years, they are into, and they have a penchant for quality because they are exporting to 65 countries. So they already have that mechanism of quality and all that. So anyway, it's just an interaction.
Yeah, I have 2 questions on that. One is maybe for your straight answer, titanium. I just dealt in Singapore while I was working. I machine a lot of titanium. It's going to be a very hard part and hard machining. But here there was no as such requirement for us, but there was an Inconel requirement for the subsea platform. Okay. So that's an answer. That's my small exposure towards it.
Okay.
But when I look at the gravity of anything we talk about, it all convert into a business and the value and the profit. So when you say the company is making for so many years, how much is the turnover? How much is the export?
That's the problem. Again, micromanaging. That's his problem, because he started with 3 people and now he has got 200 people. So he's doing about 40 crores and he still is not ready to let go.
The thing is, if you do a research that these titanium products or these Inconel products are used in what are all the industries, how much is the consumption? If you ask me in terms of these metals, I would say iron and steel is 9 crore tons of steel every year world is consuming. China is making 4 crore. Eastern Europe, Western Europe, US is making 1 crore. India is
I think your internet connection is not good. Internet connection is not good.
for me.
Yeah.
Now it's better.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
okay?
Now.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. When we talk about this engineering or the metals, what I would say is 9 crore tons of iron and steel is consumed in the world every year. So China is making 4 crore, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and US is making another 4 crore. 1.6 crore is India plus APAC. And if you look at China now, everybody wants China plus, and China intellectual property threat, geopolitical tension, COVID sentiment, and pollution issues. Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and US is coming out of manufacturing. There is no youth dividends. They are moving into technological shift. So if you look at the whole attraction is towards India and APAC, but the problem here is we don't have such kind of capacity.
Exactly.
So for that, the investment is going to be highly crucial. So India is going to be the biggest capital market. So the point is, we need to list down, there are trillions of business in any of the business. I mean, whether it is a shoe or it is a textile or it is whatever, it's a lot. But it is us to look at the, when we talk about one simple word strategy, it has 3 days of session about strategy. What is meant by strategy? There's one IIM professor, Mr. Srinivasan, he takes phenomenal depth in terms of strategy. So there is a government policy decision will impact your business, the bargaining power or the raw material resource scarcity. You need to think so many things, you map out. There are different tools like business canvas or all those things. It's all, what I'm saying is, when I don't know in this group how many people really work in a structured way to take off the business or so on. Otherwise, it doesn't work out. It will be so we will always have an subconscious mind saying that, hey, something will go wrong, something will go wrong. Hold on, it is enough, and then it will be enough.
How busy are you if I set up a meeting or an appointment? I mean, you'll be able to give an hour's time if I come to Chennai? I mean, come to Coimbatore? Or do you keep traveling all over the world?
You can send a mail. No, I'll be definitely working with the calendars based. So you can send a mail definitely, and what kind of stuff we want to discuss. Then probably I can give you my calendars for sure, and we will discuss for sure.
Thank you.
Maybe today it is fine. I don't know after 3 or 4 years how my calendars is going to be.
You are very inspiring. So I'm just bouncing. See, it's easy, right? Instead of attending an IAM course for 1 year, I can bounce with you. You will condense everything and give it to me. So I'm looking at shortcutting the whole process. That's all.
It is good. Not an issue.
Yeah, the reason is I'm 61.
My team is so happy because when I make a big learning out of whatever the pay I do and then time of hours I dedicate, I'll make this thing repeat to my team at least once or twice to make sure they grab it. So once they are grabbed, they are also an IIM guys, but not into IIM really. So the power of teaching, the power of delegating, the power of communicating to the team, that matters a lot, because that's like you're making an Xerox of you, right? So you can see a double power. 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 is 11. So you need to make it in a different way. Thank you. Anybody is not unmuting and asking so that I can't hear. Please unmute and ask.
Yeah, Mr. Jinan, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I regularly meet promoters like you, in the very industry. So, first of all, thanks for your inspiring presentation. The general feedback, what I'm getting currently from metal and foundry people. So now the input cost is going high due to various reasons globally. So they are not able to immediately pass on the cost increase to their customers. So what they are doing, this foundry and the metal people, they are actually not taking much order. They are reducing their business. There is a huge demand, as you mentioned. We are seeing globally due to China plus one strategy. There is a huge demand, but the business people are not taking more order. Many companies, whatever I know, some people they are taking advantages. They are having some agreement terms. They are doing it. But majorly, most of the people I met, they are reducing business, though in the good demand period. So how do you manage this scenario, the input cost hike, and to increase business in this current scenario?
Okay. So thanks for bringing that question up. So the point is, the first thing is we are doing business, not a charity. So the strong thing is, when we do business, we have to go with the definite agreements with the customers, and the raw material has to be linked as a surcharge, because it's not in our hand, it's a market driven, right? So if you are making 1,000 tons per month in a foundry, 1,000 tons, and per kg, if there is a hit of 10 rupees, you are losing every 1 crore every year, right? So when 10 lakh kg of casting into 10 rupee will be a crore, and you will be bankrupt in next 3 to 4 months. In 1 quarter, if you lose, then you will be bankrupt. So the first thing is, what the companies are reducing the business, it is better not to get into that losses. They are ready to even shut off. So that's the stage they were pushed to, I would say. It is not they are willing to do that, they are pushed to, because customers are not paying. So the point is, it has to be a definite agreement, but the steel is somewhere linked with the oil. So when the oil price goes up, automatically this goes up. But if you are doing exports, and if your currency is towards this dollars, and the dollar goes up, and it gets compensated. But if you look at a full product, and if a full product has a value of say $100, and $50 is the raw material value, and $50 is the valuation, and so on. So even for the $50, if there was no increase for a 10%, and if you have a 5% increase on the dollar pricing, so it gets compensated. Okay. And moreover, in business, if you are clear with your bottom line of 10% or 15% or 20%, whatever, the hit ratio of 2-3% will be always in the business, which you need to make sure the economies of scale are doing more than the capacity, and then try to observe things for a certain timing. And if it's going to be a continuous scenario, probably we need to get back to the customers, and then we need to get them, number one. And the government is also looking at those kind of initiatives, and they are not really being cool, but you know that it can't react every single day, or once in a week if the price is going up and two, they can't react immediately. So they need to discuss a lot of policies. So now they made that through this steel mint, all the European players are buying steel from here, and then they are making, so people want to export more, the steel companies not giving into the Indian economy. So for getting the Indian economy getting hit, government imposed now 15% of tax for exports additionally, and then for importing they reduced some of the taxes. So suddenly the demand has gone down at the exports, and then here the prices come down now. And for Indian economy, they are boosting it, because we are losing the value addition. All the seeds are getting exported. So government is also taking action, but the problem is the reaction time, and all those cushions will always need to be there in the business. And the worry where it will come is the funding system or the interest cost. You know, the funding is not backed up so that they can have the impact. So where they get washed out of the business is if they are not having much business, or they are just doing a break even, and when they are lowering this business, and they will not be able to even pay their loans or all those stuff, and they just get washed out. So that's a sad story of it. But we have to be definite on the pricing, number one. Otherwise, from the day one, we should not pick up. So if some of you are having a very bigger business in any of the commodity with no correlation of your variable cost directly linked into the final product pricing, then you are under risk.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions, please.
Yeah. There are 27 participants. I would like to get as much as question to make this session interesting, where I can also learn something. I'm more interested if somebody is asking a question where I'm getting stunned and I'm not able to answer.
Mohan?
Gubi sir, yes.
Please ask your question, Mohan.
I'm just watching, sir.
Anybody else has a question?
Can I see everyone's face?
Jan sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go on, go on.
Sir, as you said, no, your aspiration is big. Same like we are also having similar aspiration for next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Since you are saying you are planning to bring some equity and other friends, we are also thinking like that. Which is better, IPO is better or bringing private equity is better? Because I'm not that much strong in financial side.
Even I'm not strong. I'm learning, but I can answer.
I thought you are from
Sir,
IIM and other things. So you
no,
may be knowing
it is
better
not
than-
that like if I am from IIM that I can answer everything. But what I'm trying to say is, what is your company size now? What is the turnover you are making?
I am almost nearing 100.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you are 100, you cannot go into IPO at this point of time. I mean, cannot in the sense you have to scale up big. So now I can ask you, what is the business you are into?
I am into building material industry like plumbing, mainly hot and cold water pipes, industrial piping like that.
Okay, so my question is, when you are doing 100 crore now, okay, do you have a probability to increase your business to 1,000 crore, for example?
Yeah, definitely. The market size is huge.
Okay, so what is bothering you for 1,000 crore now?
No. As you said, no, we are almost now 25-year-old company. We started in 1998.
No, sorry. I'll put my question in a different way. What is the bottleneck for you to reach 1,000 crore?
No, we were not ready before because we are adding so many products and we are expanding horizontally. Like we have almost covering 50% of India with baskets of product.
Okay.
Now we are ready for going with multiple location production and different kind of product to reach different segment of customer under the building material industry, like a plumbing industry. You can say.
Agreed. So what is that? What is that you're looking for, and what is stopping you?
Yeah, no, we are looking some huge funds.
Mohan,
Yes, sir.
this is Vishwanath. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
yes.
to interrupt
Yeah,
sure.
Gnanasekaran.
Sure.
I attended this meeting in Madras Management Association
Okay.
where Maffai Pandiyarajan addressed.
Okay, sir.
When Randstad, Randstad took over Maffai, they paid 32 times of the equity. So everybody was very happy because most of the investors from Virudunagar and all that, but he is cursing that he should have gone public. This is just an answer. I mean, it's not an answer. It is just what Maffai, he says, my next company, I will not go and sell it to PE, but I will go public. It's this is what Maffai Pandiyarajan was telling in Madras Management Association meeting. This is just for an information.
Okay.
It may not be an answer. Okay.
Definitely.
I am also
Yeah,
not an
okay.
expert in
We are
finance.
just getting ready, sir. Earlier we had partners in company. This is our own family. Just last year we started converted into company like private limited company, Europe Private Limited. Now we are preparing ourselves to get some equity fund or going for IPO, something like that. We are planning in next 2 years. That's what I asked Mr. Gan, since he is also such an aspiration.
Everybody is aspiring, but how do you go about it is a big question.
No, there is a way. His question is great. See, the point is you need to first of all learn this. What are the different type of funding? I attended a master class in Mumbai Chamber of Commerce. So if you look at it's first year the founders bootstrap, then you go to friends and families, and then you go with the debt funding, and then you go with the venture capital, then private equity, then mezzanine floor, and then go for an IPO. IPO is the last one, okay, to make money and then to get yield of it. So to scale up, if you want a funding, you may have to structure differently with either private equity or with this VC funded, but you are almost 100 crores and into a commodity. I'm not sure about the VC, but this even private equity and then a lot of these alternate investment funds and then external commercial borrowing where you can get it at a very lower interest cost. So, and the debt funding where you can go, it's based on the bottom line, what you have and what you can service about. So it all starts from the financials, numbers, and how attractive it is going to be. So, and that way these guys will come in. So when private equity wants to come, for example, they can pump in 100 crores, but they will
Yes.
see if you are using that 100 crore investment is fine to reach the 1000 crore or even another 100 crore, they can give us a debt with a lower interest from the UK or somewhere. So with the 100 plus 100 debt and equity, they can invest into your company. You'll be diluting your stocks, but fine. With that valuation, with that giving it, once you reach this 1000 crore in next 4 or 5 years down the line, money, you can forget about it when PE is coming in. So once the money is not an issue, it's only your performance of scaling up and achieving that and then getting those numbers into it. Once it is done, their sure shot is they will push you to IPO, and that's the agreement they will look for it. And once they get into IPO, they will sell their stocks of 25% or 26% what they hold. And they'll, if they are making at least 2 times of valuation, say 2000 crore, and they will take the money of 500 crores. So how come 100 crores of money they put in and they take 500 crores in 5 years? Even if they keep in UK, they have to pay money to the bank because the LIBOR rate is in minus, where the bank will not give you interest. We have to give interest to the bank. So that's the world, and North India is adopting a lot. And China, everybody pumped into China with this kind of investments, and then they have taken a return. Now all the money is coming to India. The problem is, where is the right horse ready to run? And we have to get the right PE. And in between getting into this, we need to know a lot of learning about how can a PE can completely eat us, or what are all the term sheets. So we have to be very clear what they can, what they cannot, what you can, what you cannot. So it's a big story into that. But for sure, I know that if company is doing great with no debts or a great profitability, they can scale up only with the finance support. So finance is going to be a bigger. Otherwise, all the SMEs and MSMEs levels will be always like this, and it is very tough to scale up.
Yeah. One problem that what they say is compliance. Most Indian companies do not have the compliance requirement, means statutory compliance requirement expected by
the PEs.
foreign, yes, PEs and even everything. You remember our super fan, he was saying that the Japanese came this close, very close to picking up equity, but there are compliance issue which even our auditors do not know, which is expected. There is a problem because here we say, okay, that is okay, this is okay, it may be some clearance you don't have with pollution, whatever it is. But when this is what really a lot of companies come that close. But when it comes to compliance issues, Indian companies are sorely lacking because we have different standards of accounting, auditing, and things like that. As I told, I am nowhere near probably, but in a forum like this, I thought we can bounce. Because that particular forum where Mafoy, Pandiranjan, all big people, they were talking of 2,000 crore, 5,000 crore. And actually, they were wondering how Zomato made 60,000 crore. So they are also eager, like scaling up. People who are in 2,000, 5,000 crore also are wanting to scale up to 60,000 crore.
Yeah, definitely, sir. It would be always.
Yeah. So I was surprised. They are not happy. They are not satiated. They are wanting even more.
Always hungry, sir. No one will be happy with whatever we have.
That's what. So touching the sky is everybody's dream and vision. But the ground level insight, as you said, statutory is one of the things. On the compliance, we have to be good at it. So once those investors coming in, we need to be so sure and very transparent, and then because in due diligence they will be able to find out and the deal can break anytime. So once we are set right from the day one, we structure our company in such a way, then it will be very attractive for the PEs to come and then see. You will have only 3 or 4 slides to discuss and only 20 minutes to make them inspire and then fall into our business.
Yeah, the presentation.
So that's very important. Your storytelling of it, and then how you are tweaking your valuation. So they need to see the logic, and then once they get that gut feel, then so that will happen. Everything happen twice in life: first in mind, second in reality. So you have to dream, and then if you have a clear path towards it, at least when I say $1 billion, I don't know whether it is going to happen before I die or I get into 80 years. But there is a path towards it. I'm fine even we end up in next 5 years or 10 years or 15, whatever.
Congratulations, Mr. Gyan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ramanathan, you were trying to say something? Ramanathan?
Everyone can say at least hi, not an issue. Can unmute and say hi. And
Good morning. I am Balamurgan. And that what strategy you are adopting for that your export customer market? Client export.
Yeah, strategy in the sense, sorry, I don't get that.
How to get your customer from that market, export market?
That's good. So, marketing, you're talking about marketing, right?
Yeah, marketing, yeah.
So the marketing is one of the very important phase. So in our industry, you know, the biggest marketing is by word of mouth and how you get to know. Okay, so customers. So it's an influenced marketing. There are different type of marketing. So for us, an engineering product, the customer has to give the design or the print or the drawing where we manufacture for them, right? So unless otherwise, a buyer, even though there could be one company very big, and my brother is there, and it's not that easy. I can get the business from them as my brother is there as an influence marketing. So number one, the brother has to be so sound inside. Whatever he say, everybody should take care of it. Number one, and number two, there should be a real need when we are approaching that we are doing this, and then they can give it to us. Number two, so it has to gel, I would say. So our strategy typically is I have a business networking. For example, Brazil, Canada, UK, Germany, Spain, Japan, Australia, and Michigan, plus India. So I have 9 business networking people sitting there. I just give them a percentage or a commission percentage if they bring a customer, and we give a cap for every customer. Up to this much growth, we will be paying you this much of percentage. That's a win-win. That's a win-win. And if everybody have a connect. For example, even if I am working in a company for 10 years, I know how many customers. I know 15 customers. So out of 15 customers, if I go and then approach the 15, and only 3 or 4 is coming because they are so big and I am very small, it's not working out, then I am exhausted. I am exhausted with my known contacts, right? I don't know where to go. So that's where everybody is stuck. So how do we connect this? I connected with the different known people saying that why don't you connect to your known people? So it's going to be a nudge. So all the 8 people whom we have, they can be doing something else, but they will try to keep talking about our inspirations. There is a company who is great. For example, in Brazil, there is one person for me who is a vice president of an association. So where there are 800 companies registered in that association, but that VP is a licensing agent for us, where once we get a business, and then he get a percentage for him as a licensing. So his job is, if I send my PPT, my presentations to all the association, all the company, all the ambassadors of this company, abroad companies, right, industries, if you read a mail out of your presentation, it will be like a, sorry, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Just a minute. I think I'll. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So my presentation will be not at all considered. It will go out of 10 out of 11, and then it will be thrown away or it will be into the basket. So how to touch them is, if the known person who is an Brazil president. So in a dinner, somewhere, if somebody is talking, then he would say, hey, I have a company called Q&Q in India. Why don't you look into that? Then that company CEO or a CXO somewhere, he thinks of at least to open a presentation, then they are impressed. Our presentation can be impressed. But the point is, with the interest, because people always have a, just a minute, my system, so having an issue. Hold on a second. Sorry for that. Okay, sorry for that. So what I'm trying to say is, so the influencer, it makes a difference. It is not that directly you approach, because in Brazil or US somewhere, I have even met some of the influencers. They said, oh, India, it's bad because they have already come and they burned their fingers with somebody, and then they have a perception all Indian companies will be like this. Or even if he has tried with the second company, and if they made a mess, then that's all. He never turned back to India at all. Or if you are visiting a country and if you have a very bad experience, did you ever comment good about that country? Or did you ever try to go to that country back? No, right? So the problem is, again, to touch those guys or touch the great customers, you need to have a lot of influencing scenario. The problem is the perseverance, as I said, perseverance, the quality of going till the end, till what you want. Now, if you see, I have dealt with 155 customers with the presentation, same stories, all those presentations, but we married with only 15 customers. And then we dealt with even with the 15 customers or the whole 10,000 parts we quoted, we are able to have only 140 parts, okay, and just the top 80 parts were making 250 crores. So it is not that the percentage of getting materialized is going to be less than 1%. So if you say you want 100 tons of business or you want some scale of business, so how much compared to that percentage of, if you think that 100 tons, then if you divide it by the 1%, how many tons of RFQ you would have quoted? So that's what the marketing is. So if you are tired at that, if you are not having a confidence, oh no, I'm keep on quoting, people are not coming, and if you are fed up with that, then you stop at that area. So you can't stop anywhere, you need to keep going, but you can narrow down, you can map out that who are your target customers, whom you want to work with. If you want to really work for a Nano or for some of the customers like Leyland or Tata, in today's competitive scenario, how their pricing is going to be, or with L&T, what kind of payment terms, it all your choice. But you have to be very clear on narrowing it down. What are all going to be the customer base in terms of domain, in terms of geography, in terms of customer branding and name. So marketing, as I said, marketing is as important as your operational excellence. If you think really, if you are having a company, if you are going to factory morning to evening, and if you are running a treadmill shop of 300 people or 200 people, how many hours you put your effort in terms of marketing? So what I am saying is, marketing, finance, operational excellence are equally important. So our weightage never goes to the marketing. So once you are done with your capacities or the existing business, then you start, it's not going to be that easy. Because marketing, you cannot never stop. In our industry specifically, if you get a RFQ and if you get a sample order, you know how much time it will take to get the regular production? 1 year. Because you need a pattern, tooling, foundry samples, corrections, inspection, then you do the machining, you send it to them and they approve, and then they get a PPAP order of first 30 numbers or 50 numbers batch, and you get that again another 3 months. And then if they say, okay, they stop their other, so they wrap up, they put your orders, then you take another 3 months. This itself becomes 12 months. And you get the money after 60 days, it will be almost 14 months. So if you are going to start with one customer, you have to be patient for at least 12 to 14 months, because exports, they are not here, they want a parts tomorrow, I want to run my line, please give me something. No, that's not their culture. They'll work very comfortably for the next year always. So we have to keep in mind that we should not get our anxiety more saying that, oh, if some business is coming, immediately we will calculate, oh, tomorrow or day after tomorrow we will become millionaire. No, that will never happen. So we have to be clear on our business plan. So the why we are getting out of marketing is, unless otherwise we understand the complete marketing, we think that that's not something happening as we want. So we put low weight. We always keep doing what we are good at it. We come, we yell, or we ask those team reports, this, that, and we have a bossy scenario. And then if we are content with, then at one point of time, we will get stopped.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Anand Kumar. Mr. Anand Kumar, you may please unmute and ask your question, please. Unmute, please unmute.
Sir, I am listening all of the debates and I am very happy. Yeah. Debates are very enriching to me. That's
Good.
all, sir.
You have any questions?
Mr. Maurya, if you have any question, you may please ask your question, please.
I think then until the time is on, I'm going to pick and choose the name and ask what is bothering you today.
Right, sir.
Definitely there should be some problem for everyone, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Please feel free.
I am working in a central university in Lucknow, located at Lucknow.
Okay.
So I am still in service of a central university. So I am just listening your debates.
Okay.
I think Ramnathan was trying to ask a question. Ramnathan?
I didn't have a question. I was just observing because I'm not into industry as such. When we are talking about the IPO as well as private equity, I was about to tell about the disclosure, the compliance norms defines or limits the person to getting into accessing equity as such, because we are always comfortable with own personal money rather than with other people's money. The principle of OPM, when we start scaling up, own personal money limits people to stick on to their particular size, and they don't expand and they want to be in their own comfort zone. So once we get out of that comfort zone, only then we scale up and then we start leveraging with other people's money. And in that fashion, private equity is about selling your idea to a few people, and IPO is selling the idea to a large chunk of people. And for that, you don't need to have a big IPO size as such. Now, SME platforms are there, small and medium. SME IPOs, NSE as well as BSE has an IPO size even of 10 crore or even 20 crore or sub 10 crore. Also, you can come out with an IPO in an SME platform. So not necessarily that you need to have big size to go for IPO. You can go for IPO in a small size as well if you're prepared with the compliance norms and things like that. That's it. You're able to share your data in the public domain, then you can go for IPO. If you want to keep it concealed for quite some time and then launch from there on when you're ready to take on the biggies of the world, then you can go for IPO. That is a conventional theory. But otherwise, it's a valuation game. You discover your values much earlier. Maybe you may not get the right multiple. So people want to grow in private equity and then discover the right multiple. The valuation discovery happens when they achieve a critical size. So that's why they go to private equity for some point of time, and then later they want to tap into IPO for the valuation game. That's what my perspective, which I wanted to share.
Yeah, great. And that's a right point. But that's why I asked them for the first question, what is their turnover? They said they're 100 crore. So SME IPO is not going to help them in a big way, I would say. But direct IPO, before going there could be a bigger scale up. So, and as I ready that people will start asking you questions. So we have to be ready to answering them. Otherwise, we are a boss and we have all our comfort zone. Nobody is going to question you. But when we go into this investors game, then there's going to be a lot of questions, and you have to be prepared for that. So
Yeah,
that
you'll be grilled
mindset.
in the analyst meet. You'll be grilled in the analyst meet, and they'll sit on the top of your head and ask questions.
Yes.
Right? Quarter on quarter, you got to deliver. The timeline pressure will be there when you access public money. Quarter on quarter, sequential quarter, year on year, your whatever. So your cost sheet will be bisected and dissected, and then be questioned with compared with your peers and all. And you have to have the courage and the wherewithal to stand the assault of the analyst.
True, very true. Yeah. I think Anand Kumar sir was asking something. I think it's Mr. Anand Kumar Mayura.
Mayura, Anand Kumar Mayura.
Sir, for private equity, what percentage they are looking, sir, for investor? And
No, it depends. So how much money you need, and then how you are asking your term. Basically, they'll be looking for some hold, so at least 26% they'll be looking at. But if you are pulling somebody for initial valuation up, you can bring some strategic investors initially by giving some 5 or 10% with some value, and then you can raise your value proposition up with that first round of funding. And then if you go to the second round of funding, that can be big, but I'm not sure because I'm not yet into that. So we are discussing into these two ways. One is getting into the private equity as a 26%. And they would ask, basically, I think they want to have a stronghold for sure.
Also, exit route they spell out, and we have to be ready
Yes.
to. That is the most important thing. Otherwise, whatever you have worked hard will simply disappear, because they will simply exit. A lot of people, traditional business, family businesses are afraid because of what Mr. Ramanathan told, and exactly the same problem. And there are a lot of skeletons in the cupboard. When they started, they would have cut corners. They might not have complied with tax rules and place like that. Because India, it's not a very easy place to do business anyway. So they would have cut corners here and there, and all the skeletons will come out of the cupboard once the PE start doing the due diligence. And I know quite a few people who are keeping everything close to the chest because of that. In fact, especially when it's a family company, I mean, cousins don't agree also. There is another problem, because they are accustomed to eating out of the profits. They very rarely people who have Gnanasekaran's dream of 1,000 crore. They harvest it every year. Not even every year. I think they harvest it every 6 months, and they want to have, especially if they are not founders, they inherited third generation. They inherited the business. They are not looking at valuation and growth and all that. They just want to harvest and eat and be happy. And
so it's basically a choice. So it's basically a choice, number one, and it is very, very sensitive when it comes to an human psychology, saying that I have grown up, I have built this company, I have done this so much, and then when we have this name and fame for even certain level, and if somebody comes and then question you where you are struck for your simple mistake, there it gets triggered, and then that will just spoil everything. So it's better that we live with this, we are comfortable, why should we go this, that?
Yeah, there are a lot of case studies in which, like say, for example, Big Bazaar or Biani could be a great example of a failure of taking a business public much earlier, and their ideas being scrutinized at every level, and his entire business model collapsed, and he's in doldrums. Because he had a fantastic model in Big Bazaar, and he was a very early entrant into that space. Whereas Radhakrishnan Damani took it in a different way, and he has come out with a huge market capitalization as DMart today, which is more successfully accepted in the marketplace today. Whereas Kishore Biani's Big Bazaar, Pantaloons, and every business model, they spread too thin, and with the analysts havoc and things like that, they are in deep trouble.
But do you think that is fair? What they did is a greed or fair?
See, there is a thin line separating between your vision being ambitious and being greedy. So when you're ambitious and is backed by solid plans and you're successful, you call it as a vision. And when you fail, you may be treated like you're being greedy. That's it. As simple as that. History is always a winner's story.
Exactly. Yes. Anand Kumar sir, you are trying to ask something. You raised your hands.
And he said he was listening. No?
Oh, okay.
Chenni, any questions? Chenni, Haripriya, Sengoten.
Nothing from my side. It was a very good presentation and more interactive session. A lot of insights we had, and I am also into an MSME industry, sir. We are into manufacture of plastic molds and molded components.
Oh, great.
So we are doing.
Are you doing any exports? My question
Yes,
is.
I was doing exports for the past 7 years to US.
Wonderful.
And because of this COVID, I lost that business. About 200 crore business I lost last year.
Okay.
Because of this, what do you call, basically due to the freight cost increase. And also the delivery points. So what my customer did, they started stocking more. So these inventories, everything based on that, I lost that business.
Understood.
Apart from that, still we are trying, and I am doing a bit of exports to US also right now.
Okay.
Just trying to ramp it up.
So your product is basically plastics, if I'm right, correct?
Yes, I do both. Any plastic product needs a die. They call it as mold.
Okay.
So we make injection molds and also the components out of the molds.
Okay, fine.
And currently we are we have signed a manufacturing contract for the chai EC, a product called chai EC for coffee, chai tea vending machine.
Okay.
So which is basically targeted in Canada and US markets.
Okay.
So we have developed the molds, and the cup production is also over.
Okay.
So perhaps from July the production has to go. So the market picks up.
So you are into automotive?
Yes. I am very much into automotive also. Automotive electronics.
Okay, good.
Automotive, we are making a lot of gear housings to SL Lumax, in turn which gets into Hyundai.
Wonderful. Okay, great.
Thank you.